Studies indicate that most farmers in Uganda use traditional, obsolete technologies and inadequate information available on such machineries. Sasakawa Africa Association Uganda has partnered with Japanese Honda company to mechanize agriculture among smallholder farmers in Chiboga district.
The partnerships that we intend to have with Honda, we need to write an MOU with them, and we also need to have these technologies procured at a reasonable amount of money that our farmers can easily adopt. It is to the local farmer to see how they operate, but most especially for them to appreciate the relevance of using these technologies vis-a-vis the technologies they are used to. Instead of using a hoe, we have a tiller. Instead of using a water can, we have a backpack sprayer. Instead of relying on just rain, we have a water pump that can draw water from a source, maybe a pond or a tank, and then they can spray to their crops or the fields where they are growing their crops.
The Technical Coordinator and Nutrition Sensitive Agriculture, Sasakawa, Uganda, Jackie Namsalisi says, with the technology, farming is to become much less labor-intensive and increase post-harvest.
Is to increase their production, to increase productivity, and also to increase the quality of the produce. Most times when you see people use hose, just hose, there is little that they can achieve. They can produce from a place where they've only dug. But now if they adopt technologies such as a tiller, where 1 acre you're going to have only 7 hours of tilling, and yet compared to a hoe, which people are going to take about 7 days to till land. So that means these technologies are going to save time, and not just time for men, but also women can easily use these technologies because they are gender sensitive. So it's going to reduce on the drudgery as well, because it's tedious to also use the local technologies that are available to farmers, like the hoes and the rakes and the likes. So we need to have our farmers elevate their standard of production of farming to that high scale production, for them to earn premium prices out of their produce, and also to compete favorably in the national market and even in the international market. So we are encouraging farming as a business.
During the demonstration exercise of the petrol-powered agriculture machinery at Ramata sub-county in Chiboga, farmers and district authorities appreciated the technology's relevance.
We are also advocating for technologies that, number one, are time saving, number two, labor saving for timely farm operations. So I think such technologies will help our farmers to make sure that they save labor, they save time, and do timely planting. So I'm just advocating for our farmers and advising them to take up such technologies.
Sasakawa, Uganda promises to develop cost-effective sharing model to enable farmers acquire the technologies at subsidized prices.
So we have different models as Sasakawa, and we have a cost-sharing model, which we contribute a certain amount of money towards the acquisition of these technologies. A farmer or an individual farmer or a group of farmers, they come together and collect a certain amount of money that is the same money that we are now going to top up as Sasakawa for them to be able to get these technologies. But above all, as long as Sasakawa has access to these technologies, we will have acquired them at a subsidized cost. when working with Honda directly. So all the same, if they pass through Sasakawa, there is a possibility for them to acquire these technologies at a much less amount of money, because we will have to add a certain amount of money on top of that technology for them to acquire. But the beauty about this all, Sasakawa's groups or farmer groups are based on the idea of them saving. So these groups are already saving, and they can only put aside a certain amount of money, which amount of money we can now discuss as a team, as Sasakawa team, to see by how much do we top up to have these farmers acquire the technology that they might have identified to facilitate their production.
The Assistant Managing Director, Honda, Sakata, says the company is empowering small-scale farmers to increase productivity.
Agriculture is one of the main pillar of the power product business of Honda. So we have a successful story in Asian countries, empowering small-scale farmers with our equipment. So we would like to realize similar successful story in Africa. So we have decided to invest in Africa with our equipment.
Mechanized agriculture among smallholder farmers will relieve farmers of labor shortages, ensure efficient use of resources, improve timeless and enhance market access to farmers.